Don't you hate when you tune in on a podcast and all the dudes are doing are laughing?
Laughing. That's funny.
So sorry, I'm crying. Jim made me laugh.
It's all good.
I gotta fix my earphones. So while I'm fixing my earphones, welcome to the Home Server Show. This is a live podcast. If we're not cracking up, we're podcasting.
We do have a good time together.
Good time. So you've got, Jim, your lighting is so warm. I feel like I look like I have the flu or something.
You want to know the magic?
What is
so
the
I have
magic?
so the old lights that this look, right? This okay.
That's the old Paulison podcast.
Yeah.
Collison podcast.
That's the old really dark, right? So you turn the lights on. So I left those. Those are still there, and those have an orange. They got orange or not orange, but kind of. They got covers around them that are nice and warm, and then I point them at the wall, and the wall's kind of brown. So it kind of brings this. It adds, Otherwise, I have just a lot of white coming at you because of the computers and. Everything's white. I mean, the show notes are white, and live stream is white, and Hover is white, and Google,
Yeah, no, I got a lot of white coming at me right now.
Yeah, so I just added a little color with light. I added some more light, but I added some kind of richer tones to it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So maybe
That's what I did.
Maybe I should just turn that one off. No, then I have a shadow. Yeah, see, I look like I had the flu. I'm so white.
Well, and you've lost a little weight, so you look like maybe you had the flu too.
Skinny. I'm virtually blowing away.
Nice.
Yep. All right. We'll follow up on that. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay. Got a new tagline for the Geeks Network too.
I like it.
We'll try it out. See what everybody thinks. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you can chat with us over on homeservershow.com/live. homeservershow.com/live. We are over there. And we've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking. I'm going to do a little bit on Band, Microsoft Band. We're going to talk about Amazon Cloud Drive. We're going to talk the big elephant in the room that was started in the forums is, should I leave CrashPlan? And we're going to talk about some alternatives to that and maybe why you could, maybe why you shouldn't. We'll talk about that. Oh, and I found another cloud service for Jim. We're going to talk about this. This show is packed, guys. This show is packed.
There's a lot.
So hang on. It's going to be a 3-hour tour. If you want to sing the Gilligan theme, you can.
It's immediately went through through my head.
So previously on Home Server Show, we were talking in the pre-show about what do you call? Is it? And it's not anecdote. So what you call when your zipper is down? You say,
Yes. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Your zipper is down. Okay. So that's what had me laugh.
Well, my mother would say XYZ. That's what
XYZ.
she'd just look at you. She'd just say XYZ. Because we were looking at domains, and there's now an XYZ domain. And I had not, until that moment, I had not put two and two together. That, oh, wait a minute, that's XYZ.
So maybe you should examine your zipper. Do you think that's even available?
Huh.
Let's look. This is the pre-show. I'm sorry. So we're at GoDaddy. You're at Hover. Examine your zipper. I'm just going to put that in. Not .com. Oh, .com is not available. Examine the zipper. But that makes it...
No,
you'd be a perv. ExamineYourLife.com. That's what I need to be doing instead of doing all these. ExamineYourZipper.guide. No, you don't want to go there. So now we'll replace ExamineYourZipper.xyz. It's not available.
Well, I'm looking for hey.xyz. That's not available. Hey, XYZ.
Hey,
Not available.
XYZ. You could just text that to someone,
Mm-hmm.
and they would get a text back saying, or you'd text that and you'd put a number in of your friend, and it would say, someone has noticed that your zipper is down, and they sent you a gentle text.
That'd be a great service.
Isn't that a good
That
idea?
would be a great
just
service.
Business. Just hey.io. That's a good one.
Yeah. Hey dating. Hey careers. Those are all out there still. Hey care.
Yeah. Hey.io. I like that.
Wow, it's amazing how many that hey, it's a pretty common 3-letter word. How many of those domains are still out there? I guess when you have so many domains now, it's not like when it was just .com.
Yeah. .com, .org, .net, and that was it.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that.
All right.
Let's get on with this show. All right. It's good to see the live show there at homeservershow.com. Again, if you're on YouTube, you can chat with us, homeservershow.com/live. It's good to see Mr. Jose Ortiz. I haven't talked to you in a while. Jose, if you're going to CES, man, let me know. I'll be there the weekend before and the weekend after. If anybody else is going, please let me know. Please let me know. Oh, and I heard on your show, Jim, last week, pre-show, the chat. I know the chat is confusing, but you know what happened? This chat is from livestream.com. You cannot get an account on livestream.com today and get this chat room for free. Does not exist. You have to pay a monthly fee. But if you remember, all you podcasters out there, if you remember long, long ago, livestream.com used to have a different model. You could live broadcast. You could live embed, E-M-B-E-D, and you could embed a chat room beside it. And that's what we used to do. Mm-hmm. We used to embed the live stream broadcast. Remember, you would come to your computer, you would go to homeservershow.com/live, and it would be music playing. Mm-hmm. It would be live, and then we'd podcast. It was great. But now that same service is $49.95 a month just to do that. I don't even know if you get live embed anymore. You can embed previous episodes, which I think you have to go up to the Big Daddy package to do a live embedded stream. So
I was going to check. That reminds me, I should probably check my live stream. It has been a long time since I've even logged in over there.
If you're grandfathered in, then Jim, you can embed a chat room anywhere you want to. But if you sign up today, you will not be able to do
$50.
so. But scroll down and see live embed. Look for live.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's in the middle tier. I think it's in the professional tier, which is like $500 a month.
Ooh.
So it's like crazy.
Yeah. Well, it caused me to move. We moved our chat to Chatwing, and that's worked out pretty well for us.
So that's in my 2015 resolutions, is to fix chat. So we'll do that.
I logged in. Let's see what kind of plan I have here. Wow, they've really changed things.
Oh, yeah, it's a mess.
Holy cow.
It's a mess.
All right, ready when you are.
Okay. Still December 10th? Yeah, it is. This is the Home Server Show, episode number 274, recorded on December the 10th, 2014. Welcome back to the Home Server Show. It's OneDrive versus CrashPlan and a whole lot more. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Mr. Jim Collison joins me. How you doing tonight, Jim?
Greetings, Dave. Happy Wednesday evening to you.
Happy Wednesday. It's we got a big show for you. We got a big thing planned for you, but don't forget we are members of the geeksnetwork.com, so head out to thegeeksnetwork.com for more podcasts and forums like this quality one you are listening to. Thegeeksnetwork.com. Do you have a podcast in you? So also don't forget we have a couple of new forums, smartwareforums.com, homeautomationforums.com. There's a shortcut if you want to type haforums.com. We need some posts in those forums. We need some admins. We need moderators. If you are thinking that you would like to do something like that, please let me know. Again, that's smartwearforums.com. You know what? Everybody and their dog is going to get, I'm showing on YouTube, is going to get some kind of band, some kind of fitness watch band thing for Christmas. And I want you to come out to those forums and help us out there. HomeAutomationForums.com if you're thinking about, tinkering with the alarm or video surveillance. A lot of fun stuff going out there. Okay, CES 2015. Jim, it's like the middle of December. If you don't have your Christmas gifts picked out, then you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble.
Shipping is going to start getting really tight.
Yep.
You're going to start seeing these ships by Christmas on the labels or does not ship by Christmas, because they just can't get it to you. So, you guys, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping, homeservershow.com/Amazon, go. Get it done. Stop buying SD cards for yourself. Stop buying SSDs. Stop buying cameras and stuff. And go buy your wife, your girlfriend, your kids some gifts.
Guilty as charged.
I know you guys. I see the deals and I see the talk. You're out buying SSDs. You're not buying for your family. See, Jim's got one right there.
Got one right there.
And I say that because we're going to talk about that. And Jim, I got one from Amazon too. It has not arrived, so I think they oversold it.
Oh. Yeah, I got mine middle of last week.
Yeah, you did the first round of it, and then the second round came around, and I tweeted it again, and it's like, man, I get it. I'm getting on this bandwagon.
Yeah, not quite Black Friday, but pretty darn close. I mean, it was $5 difference.
Yeah.
But so it's a good deal, good enough deal for me.
Can't beat that. So CES, if you're going to CES, if you're in the Vegas area, you might just want to leave. But CES goes, it starts on Tuesday, January 6th. Now, I'll be there on the 4th, the Sunday the 4th, and I'll be there through the weekend. So if you're anywhere in CES land from January 4th to January 9th, please let me know. And Jim and I are still talking about our coverage. We may do like some pop-in live coverage, but we'll arrange that with you. We'll tweet that. We'll make a page for it if we decide to do some live show during some evening, like maybe even Sunday evening. But we don't know yet. We don't know. I've booked a lot of time, Jim. I thought I was just going to go walk around, but a couple of things popped up, and I really want to go see. I got to go to Synology. I got to go to QNAP. I got to talk to all these guys. And so I ended up just having to create a calendar and just start booking appointments. But my evenings are open. I have a lot of like little parties I'm going to go to and some things like that. So, hey, if you're looking for a roving reporter, I'm your guy. So I am officially open for business. But CES, please let me know if you're going. Okay, Jim, just get it out of the way. Last week, we talked on Surface Geeks about the band. Now I'm going to... can you see that? There it is. It's green. So Microsoft Band, and they recently opened a lot more inventory of this here shackle. And so I hope that you were able to get one. I know Rich Hay from WindowsObserver.com, he picked one up. He was a happy camper.
I have not run out and picked one up yet. I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. I'm still thinking through all those options. It is Christmas, and I'm having trouble bringing home a $200 band, I'll be honest with you.
It's hard. It's hard to buy $200 for yourself.
And I've got a $200 watch already with my Garmin 220, which is a really nice watch. And so I'll probably let it slide through the holidays a little bit, and I may pick it up, later in the spring. We may even see a Rev 2. I don't like the flat design. I've said that publicly a couple times. I don't like that. Yeah. I think they just need to curve it a little bit, and I think that'll happen in V2. So they curve it, I think I'm in.
I think you'll be fine if you wait. I think you'll be fine. Yeah. I'll get one. This thing has changed my life. Literally has changed my life.
It has. You have. Your health is like improved because and that's the beauty of these bands is that they give you accountability.
Yeah. Just this morning, Jim, the boys threw the football underneath the Durango. And instead of going under, I just lifted the Durango up. I just lifted the damn thing off the football.
That must be a heavy watch.
No, it's not quite that bad. But if you go back to Surface Geeks last week, this is just some stories, to get you over there to smartwearforums.com. But wearing this thing, I wore it for 2 weeks, and I just counted my steps and sleep. I didn't do anything with it. But I logged on to myfitnesspal.com. I think it's .com.
Yep.
Linked it to the band, and then started counting calories. So I started figuring out that, what I was consuming was just, it was enormous, Jim.
Ungodly.
I mean,
That's usually what
300
it is, yeah.
calorie sodas.
Yeah.
I would pack a Snickers bar on that, and that's after my breakfast of donuts and blueberry muffins. And then I would have nachos and a taco or two for lunch, and then, a huge dinner, probably burgers and fries, and I was consuming way too many calories. So I set a goal. What prompted this is my fat butt rolling onto a scale to see what I weighed. And embarrassingly enough, I was 196.4. So I was like this close to 200. Now, nothing against you if you're 200 pounds or over. I have a 5'11" frame. I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'11", so most of that 194.6 was coming in the round fashion down here. So I had to make a decision to do something about that. It scared me. I didn't want to be 200 pounds. So I started counting calories. I started dieting. I mean, I'm dieting. I'm trying to shoot 300 calories below my set limit. So it's been, I can't even remember how long I've been doing this, but I'm down to 182 this morning. So last week when we did Surface Geeks, I was 183. And I had some trouble. 183, I'd bounced to 184, bounced to 183, 184, 183. And had a couple of good days where I was under calories quite a bit, and 182. So I'm going to keep that up. And I'm trying to hit my goal weight is 175. And it's increasingly becoming harder to do that, but
yeah, the first weight always comes off the easiest. Those first 10 pounds are pretty easy, and then it works. Then it starts shifting a little bit. You've done the easy things now, and the older you get, the harder it is. And
sure.
So you just got to work at it for sure.
Now the caveat is, I don't exercise. Mm-hmm. This is all by diet. So all I got to do is like move a little bit,
right?
And I can, I've done like minor exercise. I'm trying to figure out how much exercise burns what. So I don't equate it to 1 hour of jogging, is X number of calories. No. It's 1 hour of jogging is how many donuts? Is that a cream filled, or, is that chocolate icing, or is that just plain? So I've got to get my priorities straight on what exactly that it does. And I think that I can hit my 175. So I'm going to start exercising soon. Like,
good.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Let's just start slow. The biggest mistake most people make is they go too fast, too early. They hurt themselves, and then they can't exercise at all. So, you're counting your steps. That's a great start. Just add little bits. It's like you're eating, right? You didn't just go on a 400-calorie diet from day one.
Correct.
You inched it down. So just take it easy. A lot of the guys that listen to this probably have trouble with that just because we're all like, go after it right now. I got to buy it all.
Yeah.
We're a little obsessive that way.
It's tough. There's been a lot of days where I would, I want to eat the tire in the car. I'm so hungry.
Right.
Or I want to just, kill the next person that talks to me because, they're healthy and they get to eat. So
they get to eat. That's the hard part. Yeah.
CES, you would think CES is a good workout, but you know what? I'm thinking about it, and I may have to bring my own lunch because the food is bad there. I mean, I don't remember good food at CES.
No, it's not great.
There's that barbecue thing in the front.
That's it.
And then there's that little pizza cart, South Hall pizza cart. So I don't know. Yeah, Jose Ortiz said no exercise, 20 pounds down, cutting sugar.
Yep.
Yeah, it can happen. There was times I would get a 32-ounce McDonald's Coke, and I would drive and do my errands and whatnot, and I'd get another one and go home. Because I love Coke, man.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to Coca-Cola.
It's a tough give. It's tough to give that up. That's a tough.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. All right, so on to bigger and better things. Just wanted to share that with you. Tune into Surface Geeks' latest episode. You can hear more about Band. And head over to smartwareforums.com. That forum, I need your help there. Seriously, I need help on that forum. Okay, so Mr. Paul Brereton posted this on his Google Plus feed, something about Veeam, and it tweaked my ears, and they've got a new product called Veeam Endpoint Backup Free. Now, this is a product that allows you to back up your Windows computers to an internal or external drive or a NAS, or what they call a Veeam backup repository. So it's software, and it writes it in their own format. They have a bunch of backup solutions. If you go out to Veeam, so that's VEEAM.com, and it shows the cool thing about this is that you can do backups, and I think this was able to do bare metal recoveries. I shouldn't say think. This is able to do bare metal recoveries. And so you guys that have moved to NAS machines looking for something a little different, do a recovery straight from your NAS box onto your PCs.
I'm going to try this tonight. I've got a backup. My daughter-in-law is switching computers, and I've been using CrashPlan to mess around with it, but I've been having trouble. It's been crashing on me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the laptop, not CrashPlan. So I'm gonna give this a try tonight. As soon as we're done with the show, I'm gonna install it.
Let me stop you right there.
Oh, okay. It's beta.
The beta has not been released.
Oh, I thought it said when I was reading it. I thought it said it would be released in November.
It's tricked a lot of guys.
Oh, bummer.
You can sign up for the beta, but I have not been sent the bits yet. A lot of people are waiting for the bits. It's supposed to be here. General availability is supposed to be early next year. So we're all still kind of waiting. So if you go sign up, Jim.
Okay.
Actually, everybody go sign up. It's go.veeam/endpoint. And I'm going to put that in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube and you don't know about the chat, go to homeservershow.com/live. And you can see the chat and chat back and forth with us. So, no, I bring this up because, this is not like terribly new news, right? You could use Acronis. You could use Paragon. There's a multitude of softwares out there that you can do backups. Now, again, this will allow you to do a bare metal recovery from your NAS, which is pretty darn cool. The only thing that I don't see that this software does, that your Windows Home Server does, is, drumroll, is kind of a deduplication effort, where if you make a backup of three files from 3 different PCs, you only got 1 file. That is pretty darn cool about Windows Home Server. So I don't know. Maybe they're getting to this, and I wonder if surely these guys aren't going to CES, are they? Everything we talk about, we got to see if they're going to CES. So hopefully I can jump in there. Jim, you're still using? Oh, actually, I don't want to say anything else.
Yeah, hold off.
Because I would ruin the big surprise at the end of the show.
Don't build it up any more than it is.
Veeam, VEEAM. Go check it out. Hey, everybody out there? You use Amazon in some shape, fashion, somehow. I know you either buy from them, you stream. Well, I use everything. I should be one of those weirdos with the Amazon phone. I use Amazon so much, but okay, I just called the guy listening to our podcast a weirdo. I apologize. They have a Cloud Drive product. I found Cloud Drive. I never used it, but I bought that Fire TV stick. You can see that right there in the video, Fire TV stick. and I've been playing with it. And you can have it download photos from Amazon Cloud Drive. And I started looking around, and I'm not using my Amazon Cloud Drive. And I started looking a little more, and they just opened Amazon Cloud to third-party developers with an API. Now, what that means is we've told you in the past about services like Otixo, otixo.com, where you can do cloud-to-cloud migration, cloud-to-cloud copies, backups of your cloud to another cloud without having to copy from like copy.com to your PC back up to like OneDrive. You don't have to bring it down to your PC. If you've copied everything to OneDrive, you can use a product like Otixo and move it over to, let's say, copy.com. So that's a good thing, because the other thing is if you're a Prime subscriber, you get unlimited photo backup with Amazon Cloud Drive. So that's pretty cool. If you need a secondary or a third storage solution for your photos, that can be used as well. And I'm thinking of, I can access this. I can share, I can view, I can slideshow these from my Amazon Fire TV or my Fire TV Fire Stick, whatever that thing's called. Fire TV Stick. That's what it's called. So you can do that. So that's what I was thinking about doing, Jim. So I started digging around for, let me see, there it is right there. I started digging around for cloud services that may have implemented Amazon Cloud Drive, and I could only find one. Now this may change literally day to day, but I found a product called Cloud HQ. Now all this verbiage and stuff will be in the show notes. So just, if you're not catching it all, you hit the show notes at homeservershow.com. We'll talk about it. Now I hit Jim up. I was like, Jim, have you seen this service? Is this in your cloud write-up? So we'll also, Jim dropped that in the show notes too. At theaverageguy.tv, Jim's got a big cloud comparison. So you want to check that out too. And we're going to add Cloud HQ to that. Now, their big claim to fame is, this is kind of a businessy service, is Salesforce. So if you're using the big Salesforce app at, I say app, it's huge. It's not just like an app. At work, then maybe you've heard of this. But they can sync Evernote, Basecamp, Box, SugarSync, OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Mail, Google Drive, all that good stuff they can sync. Now, one cool thing that I noted about this in my reading, cloudhq.net, is you can put in your Evernote account and have your notes backed up as PDFs to one of these cloud services. So I was thinking about creating a folder in my OneDrive and having Evernote put PDFs in my OneDrive just to see how it looks, to see how it, because you can do all kinds of sharing and stuff with OneDrive. I know you can share with Evernote too, but it's got some uses here. But they also have, Cloud HQ also has Amazon Cloud, what's it called again? Jesus. Cloud Drive. I'm looking for it on their pricing plan. And I just needed to scroll down. Whoa, I lost it. I can't find it now. Well, I can't find it now.
Which one are you looking for?
I'm at Cloud. I know they have it. Maybe, let's see, let's make sure thing hasn't. Maybe it's just the link that I'm looking at. So cloudhq.net. Hopefully it didn't go away. That would be crazy.
What are you looking for? Sorry.
The Amazon Cloud Drive. That's how I found it.
That's different than the link you have in the show notes?
I'm not seeing it. That is really crazy. Managed services. Okay, let me see if my links... Dead air. That's always handy.
Yeah, that's always good.
Cloud HQ. Oh, man.
I'm at Dropbox
Cloud
prices.
HQ. Yeah, I don't know why it says that. It's how the link goes from pricing.
Yeah.
Cloud HQ, Amazon Cloud Drive.
I'm always surprised how big Salesforce is. I mean, they are a big organization. They are doing a lot of stuff.
Well, I found it. So I'll put that link in the show notes so you guys won't think I'm... No, it's not S3. Someone's asking if it's S3. S3 completely different. It's not Glacier Storage.
Oh,
This is Amazon Cloud Drive, and I will put that link. I found it just by searching for it raw. That kind of caught me off guard because you go to this, you go to their website, Cloud HQ, and you look for Cloud Drive in the list of services. Here's what we work with.
I tell you what, you can go absolutely mad trying to figure out who syncs to what and where you're going to put stuff. And
it is maddening.
I had to diagram it out one day and okay, what am I doing? How do I do this? Where am I because we artificially keep things around because we want to be able to talk about them. We want to see what's going on. So, of course, I'm signed up for every cloud service known to man, and I'm getting notes from them all the time, and so you go mad. I mean, we just had an announcement from Otixo. We were talking about them a little bit earlier. They just came out with they're now showing the amount of available storage on their service.
True.
And so when you log in there, you can see it's really nice. I mean, you go, oh wow, this is actually really helpful.
Otixo, I've been a kind of an Otixo fan early days when they were beta, and I really like this service. So I have an Otixo account, and you should go get one too. Everybody, just go sign up.
Yeah, pretty handy. I mean, it's just the UI is nice. It's a good look.
Yeah. Now, if you're transferring a lot, you're going to want to pay. You can use it free. You get one file transfer at a time between clouds. So you don't get a whole bunch of big fast service, but you can still move stuff around. So premium is unlimited file and folder transfer between clouds. And you get, they have what they call spaces for cross-cloud collaboration. So, and you can get this as little as $4.99 a month, or $48 a year. So you can get that, and they do have apps for every platform available. I say that because they do have Windows Phone, and they have RT and Windows. So you can get a Windows app. Of course, you can get Apples and Googles as well. Otixo. And it's pretty cool. It looks over and says you have X amount of gigs left on your OneDrive or something.
Well, that's the most helpful. I mean, if you use it for nothing else, it is nice to be able to kind of keep track of all your cloud services. Now, Otixo doesn't do all of them that are out there. There's a few that are missing, but it's got the majority of them. And so it's just a nice way. It's like, okay, who do I have and where do I want to put it? Well, it's a lot easier to go to Otixo and see, I've got Box, Copy, Cubby, Dropbox, Facebook, Google Drive, and OneDrive all hooked to Otixo, right?
Yeah,
which is
that's
handy.
A mess.
Actually, having access to your Facebook photos through their interface is way better than trying to do it through Facebook. So
interesting.
That by itself is not a bad reason to use Otixo.
I wonder if, people that are bandwidth limited, if you ran up all your storage to one service, right? And you did that over months and months and months and months, and you wanted to get a secondary service, and it's holding you back, thinking, man, I just do not want to upload that. I do not want to upload that again. Hit my caps, squeeze the pipe. I don't want to do it. But you could pay for this Squeeze the pipe. We probably should make that the show title. You know what? If you pay for this, you might be able to do it in a month. Just say, boom, drag and drop. All my photos from copy.com. Here, put them on OneDrive. Wham! Done. That's worth $5 to me.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if that's possible. It might be possible with the free. I don't think you can do folders, but you might be able to move some files still.
Yeah, transfer one file between clouds at a time. That's the restriction.
So I don't think you could like grab 30 and it would go 1, 2. You had to go 1,
yeah, 1,
drag 2,
yeah. They
drag
make
3,
it that
drag 4.
difficult so that you can.
Okay, so it's not worth the carpal tunnel you're about to receive. So it's probably worth the $5 you could pay for the month. I bet you could drag a block.
Yeah, if you pay annually, it's $3.99 a month.
Yeah, it's cheap. So CES Web, let's check keyword Otixo. No results found. I found a company that was there last year. Remember the company we talked to that was new, and you save a portion of your hard drive, say, okay, this is available for storage for everybody. And then you would get like double that. Remember those guys?
I do.
They're there again.
Are they?
I'm not even going to go by.
They want you to come back?
Yeah, I'm not even going. No, I don't think they liked. I don't
was
think they
that?
liked us.
Oh.
I've got their card. Simform.
Simform.
Simform?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simform. Why don't you think they liked us?
Because we're like,
We were hard on?
because we looked at it and then the next podcast, both of us were like, yeah, we don't like this. We uninstalled it.
Well, it had a lot of chatter to it, and I mean it
Yeah.
was chatty, I remember.
Okay, simform.com. We'll put that in the show notes. You can check it out. I didn't like it.
Dave, I had Drive HQ as one of the things to look at in my list of things still coming. So I just was looking at the post that I did, and there's Drive HQ.
Cloud HQ?
Oh, no, this is Drive HQ, so this is even more
Okay,
different.
so you need to get on the review train.
I guess I need
get
to get
moving.
I update that about once a quarter just because there's so many things going on with
So if you guys out there, somebody wants to help Jim out and
That'd be
take one of
great
these
as well,
services,
yeah.
do a small review, drop it in the Home Server Show forums. Jim can grab that, and he'll have a leg up. Okay, so Cloud HQ has special pricing up to December 31st. That was my whole thing. I don't know where that is. I'm going to really have to dig into Cloud HQ a little more. Maybe I'm just going to have to sit down and do this thing. Here it is, $16.90 a month or $169 a year. And it's going to go up to $20 a month or $200 a year. And you can do with the premium plan, you're paying for 10 sync pairs. So that means you can sync 10 different things. This is a lot. The personal plan is 3 sync pairs, unlimited files. So that might be worth it. You know, the only thing I didn't see about this is I think it's all web-based, and I don't think there's like, I don't know, maybe you could tell it, I mean, it's a sync pair, so maybe you'd be okay with not having something on the PC. I guess I'm too old school, Jim.
Yeah, you're
It's
thinking
okay.
like a PC, Dave.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a PC. I need to think like a cloud.
Like a cloud.
Okay, we need to think like clouds. So that's kind of got me. I put in here that I was rethinking my cloud strategy, and that's our main topic. Well, one of our main topics. We've got many main topics, and we're going to cover a couple of more news items, but we might as well just finish this cloud argument out. Like you, Jim, I've got stuff scattered everywhere. I mean, literally, I've got stuff scattered everywhere. And someone in the forums dropped the huge elephant in the room saying, hey, this OneDrive stuff is about to become unlimited. Why am I paying for CrashPlan? Now, I need to go find that forum's post. And it's not jumping out at me. So I'm going to search CrashPlan CrashPlan OneDrive. So I use both, and I found it. And I really like both, but I use both for different things. And I think we just need to kind of take this one by one and talk about some advantages, disadvantages about, possibly getting off the CrashPlan train. And, this may be good for some folks, Jim. This is not going to be good, I think, for some other folks. CrashPlan is advertised as unlimited. We all know that nothing's unlimited. They do have...
Yeah, but they've never kicked anybody off.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
But if you look in their terms and services, they specifically state, I dug it up one time, and they specifically state, it's not unlimited.
Well,
it's not unlimited.
They got to protect themselves from somebody trying to download
True.
the
It's in the TOS,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they haven't truly exercised that.
I mean, I've sat with their engineers, and they've shown me their 60 terabyte guys that are trying to fill it up with the internet, and they're pretty proud of it. Their engineers are really proud of it. They're like, hey, look, see, we say unlimited, we support it. I mean, they showed me the report of the guy's plan saying this is it. Here it is. So I kind of believe that most of us would be okay with their unlimited plan.
Correct. So CrashPlan has it's Java. I think it's still Java that installs on your PC. You point it to your or your folders that you want to put in the cloud. It will do that for you. It'll do it instantly that second, or you can say, schedule this for 1 a.m. or something like that. I'm finally at the point where I have bandwidth. If I put something in my, my documents or something, and it goes to the server, it'll go immediately and get backed up. And I have photos, checking once every couple of hours to put things up there. Where I used to just, 2 a.m., my house internet would just light up and bam, it would start uploading to CrashPlan. But I've got it where I can kind of, dribble it out the pipe. I had to, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. It's good. As long as you're not squeezing the pipe.
Don't squeeze the pipe. The dribble will stop whatsoever. But, CrashPlan, it's a pay per use, and I think I'm at like $49 a year, unlimited.
59, I think, for most people.
59?
59, yep.
And they run specials.
They do.
They ran this enormous special, 2-3 years ago? Where they started out at free. They gave away a couple of free accounts, and then they started incrementing the price up. And guys got in a year of unlimited storage for like $1.99, $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. It was an amazing deal that they did, and they took off. CrashPlan is known in the industry as that's what you use to back your stuff up. I think the biggest thing about CrashPlan is that it sort of has a file history built into it. So don't quote me on it, but I think it's 30 days, maybe 31. You can make a change to a Word document, and you can go back and you can do a file history restore. If something is, gone amok, you can go back and get an older version. So it has versioning, file history, however you want to talk about it. And OneDrive, to the best of my knowledge, does not do that.
Now, with OneDrive, it does have versioning, 25 days, and you have to turn it on. It's not, at least when I did my research on it here just before the show, I was reading a post from this summer, and it was saying 25 days worth, but you have to enable it. It's not turned on by default, which I think for the average guy is not acceptable, right? Because you're going to forget to go in there and turn that on.
Yeah, or you don't know.
Right.
You don't, a lot of folks signing up for the service, they don't even know what versioning is, So let's go into settings, and
actually, CrashPlan retains the newest version in several intervals: last week, last 90 days, last year, and previous years. Based on it, so you've got quite a bit of time. You got quite a bit of versioning. I mean, if you've been using CrashPlan for a while and you want to go back and say, go to you're like, restore. And then it'll say, what do you want to restore from? And it'll
Mm-hmm.
give you this big, long calendar from, just depending on how long you've been using them. I've been using them for a couple years. So, and it'll go back and it gives you the dates that you can pull from. And you can pull a single file out of there from that day if you want to. That's true backup. You're not, OneDrive is going to sync it. And if you miss it in a month, which you know what, you're going to need it on the 27th or 26th day. And then, sorry, we've overwritten those. The other thing I don't like, Dave, about it is it's sync, right? I mean, it's designed to, you make a change, boom, it shoots it up to the cloud. It's designed to do that, and that's what you want for sync, but you don't want that for backup. So I just don't, just on that premise alone, I don't think OneDrive is a great. And I thought through this too the other day. I was thinking, maybe
Mm-hmm.
if I create a second account,
I think we all thought about it, Jim.
maybe if I create a second Google ID or Microsoft ID, and so I buy Office 365,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives me up to five users, and I take one of those users, and I make it my backup kind of thing. And every time I want to, maybe I sign that onto a computer, or maybe on my home server, I put that on and I make a file structure on there, and I move those over, and they sync that way. Okay, well maybe that would work in a home server environment where you have some stuff at home, and you get your server at home and stuff, but you're still dealing with a sync situation and not a true versioning backup situation. And you're not, it's I just can't say don't do it enough. I don't think it's a great idea.
There's some guys bringing up the Achilles heel of
Yes.
CrashPlan
Yep.
in the
Yep.
in the chat room, and
Yep.
if you're on YouTube watching, head over to homeservershow.com/live. You can chat for free. You don't have to sign in, no passwords. The
Never had that
Achilles
problem.
heel.
But
I
I think-
haven't either, but I've had it. I've seen it
Yeah. It
where
exists for sure.
this Java applet that CrashPlan uses sucks the memory out of
it's
your
not a great app
system.
either.
And so the more data you have, the more data that CrashPlan is handling in your environment, the more RAM it will use. And there's a couple of people in our forums that CrashPlan has decided that they do not like. Tony Rayner, for one, out there in the forums, that CrashPlan hates this guy because it just kills his server. It just kills it. He's listed right now. It's using 2.6 gigs of RAM right now, and so that is a big issue. And
It
you
is.
go look at your resources, and you'll see CrashPlan is using a lot, more than anything else. Now we had another guy in chat say he's using Cloudberry, and that's a great application for Windows Home Server or Essentials. Cloudberry makes it real easy to do syncs to almost anything. The biggest thing is like Glacier storage with Amazon. You can pay pennies per gigabyte out there on Glacier and use a simple app called Cloudberry. So that makes it real easy. I use Cloudberry within my own house. So my server backs up to a NAS with Cloudberry. Right now, my Cloudberry app does not move any data offsite right now. It just does not. I have CrashPlan for that. I have Copy.com. I have OneDrive. I may do the Amazon Cloud Drive thing. And I have been considering, do I need CrashPlan? Do I need CrashPlan? And it's never done me wrong, Jim. And to be honest with you, I've never really used versioning. I could probably go out to OneDrive and enable versioning, file history, and I'd probably be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works for you.
I think that it would.
I have used it. I pulled files, podcast files out of it. I keep all the podcast stuff that we do. And I've needed to go back and get a version of something that I did a while back, to up to 2 or 3 months ago. It's super easy. And what it's been really good for is retrieving files off my home server that I might be somewhere where I don't want to go through the whole hassle. I can just go to the CrashPlan website, drill down into my backups, find the file I need, and pull it down. It's a pretty easy interface to get files from, and so I've used that. I don't turn my home server forward facing. I don't have that made available. I don't like it. That's nothing I've ever wanted to have done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do that. And so for me, CrashPlan has worked to be able to go out and grab that. I also back up my OneDrive with it. So even though they're over at OneDrive, I have the OneDrive file buried inside of my CrashPlan backup, and it backs those up just for the versioning purposes because I've got pictures over there so they're double backed up. They're triple. I guess.
This is something that we need to talk about because this is something that we used to do, and I think that we all need to rethink it. So here's what I used to do. I would take a picture with my phone, upload it to OneDrive. OneDrive on my server would see, oh, new picture. It would download it and then put it in a directory. And then CrashPlan would say, oh, new picture. And it would sync it out to CrashPlan. This has become a real pain in the tush, honestly, because it's so efficient, Jim. I'll take a picture of my leg by accident, and in literally 3 or 4 seconds, it's already on my home server, let alone OneDrive. It's already on my home server, and CrashPlan is going, oh, there's a new picture. I got to back this up. And it's going out there. It's really getting out of hand. So I have this, back in the day, this is what we did. This is what you did because cloud services were first, they were new. A lot of us didn't even trust them. And you synced everything. And if you only had one backup location, you were a dirty word. You had to have multiple. I literally think I need to pull CrashPlan off of my server. CrashPlan. Back that up. I need to pull OneDrive off of my server and have it stop syncing. I think I'm wasting bandwidth. I'm wasting bit space because everything is out there on OneDrive, and it's already hard for me to go through the phone or go through OneDrive and delete things, clear the bad pictures off because it doesn't know a bad picture. It doesn't know you took 2 photos in order to look at everything later and only keep one, so you can get everybody smiling. It doesn't know that. It's a picture. It backs it up. Mm-hmm. So it's clunky. It's not clunky that it's frustrating, but it costs me extra time. It's a service that is supposed to save me time, but it's actually costing me time because I feel like I have to go through multiple things in order to clear off the cruft. So I really need to think about that.
Yeah. Now in my case, same thing. Take a picture. It goes to OneDrive. It goes to Google Drive too. So I've got it in 2 places, which is probably bad. Uploads. I wonder why my battery's dead on my phone. And then I run my CrashPlan backup between 1 and 6 a.m. in the morning. So so it sits there, and then at some point, so it does give me, if it was a crappy picture, I took a picture of the inside of my pocket or whatever, on my feet, my zipper, the
XYZ.
Grab my pipe. Then I
You're not supposed to take those anymore. Have you not been watching the news? Everything on the internet is open. Don't take pictures of your pipe, please.
Then I would, and if you just joined us, you have to go back to the beginning of the show for that joke. No, it's okay. So then I could delete it, and I've done that before. I've got, I don't like that picture, and I try to delete them as soon as I can if they're blurry or whatever, just so they don't.
But I do this like once a quarter. I'm like, damn, my phone is full. I gotta clear some stuff off. So even if I backed up at night, which I used to only do, it would still be kludgy.
Well, and here's my other reason why I'm with OneDrive going the way it's going. With a Surface in OneDrive, now I'm limited in space because of the changes they're going to make with Windows 10 in OneDrive. And so I've got to start thinking ahead to say, do I really want to load that much data in my OneDrive and have it sync down? And then am I going to shut that off if I don't? And to me, OneDrive is not a great place to keep your backup data. It's a great place to sync and collaborate, right? It's just like Google Drive from that
It's
standpoint.
perfect for that.
Just like Dropbox from that. It's perfect service for that. Use it for collaboration. That's what it's designed for.
I collaborate with myself. I love taking a picture and then just opening the Surface and having it in OneDrive so I can crop it and do whatever I want to and like tweet it. That's what I do. Is I'll take a picture of the Microsoft Band and I'll add it to my tweet. For some flair, and it happens instantly, just like that. And I love that. I love OneDrive for that. But I really have to rethink.
Well, and file sharing is really good on OneDrive.
It is.
Hey, come collaborate with me.
Yeah, short link, bam.
Yeah, no, it's really good for that. There's a lot of good things it's for. So, 1 terabyte for me, I could probably get away with the 15 gig that I have today. Although I've got, I've earned some space, and I think I'm at about 280 gig at this point, which is plenty for what I'm doing. I do keep that. That's kind of where a lot of pictures are. I'm gonna have to rethink my picture strategy, because I've got gigs and gigs of pictures out there on OneDrive right now. Today, those don't sync. Potentially next summer or so, whenever we see Windows 10, that'll change if Microsoft doesn't change their mind in between now and then on what they decide to do with OneDrive. So we'll have to see. I'll have to watch that part carefully, and if they decide not to and go with their current strategy, then I'm going to have to make some changes with my OneDrive.
True.
And I'll use Otixo to move each picture one at a time.
Sorry.
What do you got there?
Have you ever found a power strip just laying around and you're like, I have no freaking clue what this goes to?
Go to? Yeah.
I got to start labeling.
I try to write on my power strips what they go to.
You saw my confusion. I'm like, what the hell? I think I know what this goes to now. I'll show you later.
Which is why you got to watch the video.
All right. All right, so I'll put the link in the show notes. It's in the forums as OneDrive is a CrashPlan replacement. There's already some good chatter on it, and I think it's going to work for. I think it's going to work for a lot of folks. I really do. I cannot pull the trigger on it yet. I just can't do it. And I'm going to start putting more data on OneDrive. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to put my music out there, and I think I may sync my photos, Jim. I think I may do that. And just to see how I use it and if I use it. Now, I think I'm also going to remove sync, because I'm talking about I use very little, maybe like a 3 gigs of sync. And I have that on, 2 computers in front of me, and then the server. I take a picture, and bam, it syncs. I've got it. That strategy, I think, is dead with me. I'm not using it that much. I need to get off of that. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Head out there to the forums. I'll put the link in the show notes again, so you can take a look. And let's head on with we'll just go for a little bit of extra news here. I've been doing the router wireless access point shuffle, thinking I need to fix some things in my house. I have improved it. I'm using Ubiquity. I'm only on 2.4. I have not added 5.8, and I think I need to do that. But I have improved my 2.4 coverage in my house. I have a kind of a big house, and it's kind of spread out, and I fixed that. But I was looking at this Amped Wireless has a brand new router. I've been looking at all this brand new stuff is coming out with the AC speeds, all these new speeds, and I kind of want to be part of that, and I'm not using that. And I'll put this in the show notes. I've wanted to try Amped Wireless before, and I have not done it. And they've got a new high power router. It's $179. It ships on the 22nd of December. It has not shipped yet, but I was really interested in it. And sometimes when I'm interested in something, maybe you are too, I'll share it with you. Link will be in the show notes. Now, Jim, I found what that power cord went to.
Oh.
And it is this. It's called the Charge All, and it has dropped a dot. It's supposed to have 4 dots of charge, and this has been sitting here for 2 weeks, so it's dropped a dot. This is a huge humongous battery, if you're on video. It's by the folks at Charge All. No, they are not a sponsor. They can be if they want. Podcast at homeservershow.com. Please let me know. And this was my first crowdsourcing. I think this was, I remember if it's Indiegogo or Kickstarter, but I did this, and right now you can buy this on Amazon for $199. It's expensive, but it's a 12,000 milliampere per hour battery. It's lightweight, and it has a grounded outlet on it for our U.S.
That's
watchers and listeners. Yeah, so
that's pretty spectacular.
They show, hair dryers running off this thing, lamps, TVs. So this will recharge your laptop or your phone. It'll charge your phone like 5 or 6 times. So a lot of power in this guy right here. I did an unboxing. If you want to take a look at the YouTube channel, youtube.com/homeservershow. A lot of good videos out there for you. That was my first crowdsource. I was pretty proud of it. Pretty proud of it. I put a link in the show notes for you, Jim. Why don't you, instead of me asking dumb questions, why don't you tell me about this thing?
Which one?
Ask
me a dumb question to get me started.
I'm going to ask the dumb question. Has anybody tried one of these Wi-Fi hard drives? I keep seeing hard drives with Wi-Fi in it, and I want to know what's going on with them.
Yeah, so we actually, I've got a post out this is perfect home gadget geeks kind of stuff.
Yes.
And so we have a post out there, and I think it was Bill. I always get his last name wrong. Rockford? Rockhold, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I called him Rockford.
That's out of memory, Bill.
That's
if you're
good,
listening.
Man. That's
hey.
good. And I think I called him by the wrong name the whole podcast.
I've done that before.
And he's at the end. He reminded me, and I'm like, "Dude, why didn't you say something in the beginning?"
Oh,
Bill,
you're the host. I don't want to. Yeah.
Bill hates me, but sorry, Bill. Not really. He's a good guy, super good guy, big motorhead. But I think that was his. I could be wrong. Man, my memory as I'm getting older, Dave. I gotta write more of this stuff down because I always forget. But we tested one of those, and it got pretty good reviews. And if you give me a second, I'll see if I can track that down.
Okay. So what I'm looking at is just clicking on the link, going to Amazon. It's like a starter is a Seagate 1 terabyte. It's a portable hard drive, and it has a built-in Wi-Fi. And I'm trying to figure out, is it like the WD that I have back here, the Western Digital, that it's like a NAS? Or
no, this was a smaller one that had it had a hard drive, and then it had some ports in it, and it also would, you could Tony would shoot.
Is this like that drive that I've always been a fan of? Like I had an ADATA, as like an AE400 that you put your data on it and then you could share it out. Like you could put it in the car, and everybody could connect to it and stream movies.
Yes.
That's what
exactly
this thing
what
is.
This is.
Okay, so it's a new iteration of that. So $144 for the 1 terabyte. It's $117.50 for the 500 gig. So we're getting bigger, because mine only would take a 32 gig SD card. My ADATA. It connects throughout your home to DLNA devices and AirPlay. I need this review. I need to read this review from you, Jim.
Okay.
This looks pretty cool.
I'm going to find it right now.
This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, as I'm looking for this, as I'm remembering the review on it, it got good it got a good review, and they were able to, they were able to do lots of different, get a couple devices working off it at the same time.
Yeah, my little device connects as Wi-Fi, and it allows 5 devices. And there was a cool part about it. It would connect multiple. You could connect it to like hotel Wi-Fi, and then connect your iPad or your Surface to it, and then you could still get your movies, but you could still get internet at the same time.
Yeah,
Cool.
It was Bill Rockhold. I had the right name. It's the Rav Power Wireless File Hub. Is the one we reviewed on
Rav Power Wireless
157. If you go HT157, would have although the YouTube video is not showing up on the site there, but
Rav Power. Okay, I'm finding that 5-in-1 Rav Power File Hub.
Yep. And Bill did a separate. He did a whole separate review, so we brought him on the podcast to talk about it. But there's a whole separate review out there if you just do Rav Power, all one word, RAVPOWER. He reviewed that back at the first of the year, February of this year.
Okay, so we'll put that. I'll put that. I found one on Amazon already. It's $40, and it's a wireless SD card reader. So it's kind of like the one that I've been using, except you can go up to a 128 gig, even a 256 if you can afford that. But that's pretty cool. I like this. I like these little devices. They've always been my one of my favorite little things to have around that I rarely use because I just like to have things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweet spot for home gadget geeks. We love talking about those things over there.
Yeah, and they're sold out. Somebody had one on Scoondogs in the chat is showing one on woot.com, but it's sold out. Okay, Jim, you've got secrets, my friend.
Not too many.
We've always given you a hard time for not catching up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And there's some avenues where you're way surpassed the Joneses, like Azure storage, Azure VMs, kicking it Windows 10 in the cloud.
Yeah.
You're way beyond the Joneses. But you're doing some server work. Why don't you let me know about it?
Yeah, so last weekend, Thanksgiving and the weekend after, I decided it was time to kind of rework. And I've had 2012 running here at the house for 6 months. So it's not like I haven't been running it. But I was like, I really want to dig in this time and build a server that I think I want this thing to be. I've kind of messed around with it. I messed with Hyper-V. I've been doing some stuff on it and kind of think, okay, if I were to set up the next generation, you look back here, and you see the N54L that's sitting there. Runs great. Windows 2011, Windows Home Server 2011. It's great. All my podcasts are on it. I got about 500 gig of storage on there. I'm running OneDrive and all that stuff. It runs great. It's bulletproof. I mean, it's got 3 drives in it, an OS drive and two 2-terabyte drives that are in there. I mean, it just is a workhorse. But the next generation of things is coming, and it's like I should probably start thinking through what I'm going to do for my permanent 2012 box. It's always been a box I could rip up and tear down and change things around and try different stuff. So this time of year is always the time, and I think for a lot of guys it is too. They always start thinking, okay, I should probably check all my storage stuff. Is it backing up correctly? Am I getting stuff to the cloud? Right? We just had that conversation about CrashPlan. I think we just end of the year, you tend to start thinking about some of those things. So that build, it's a Gigabyte H55M board, which is really, really important that it's not a M or that it's not an H57. I cheaped out when I bought this board, and I went with the 55 as opposed to the 57. And all of a sudden, this is going to sound like BYOB here for a second. I promise you, we won't do that for too long. But the 57 has RAID built in on. There's five SATA controllers on one side of the board, and then the other side has 2. I think it's a J Micron controller it's in RAID 0, 1. JBOD 0 and 1. Then the other 5 have a whole bunch of RAID configurations, what you would typically see. Well, the 55 board doesn't have any RAID on it. And, of course, it's cheaper to go with the 55 as opposed to the 57. And in the day when I bought this board a couple years ago, I cheaped out and went with that. Well, that began to limit me on, and I think that'll become important a little bit later. That began to limit me on what I could do with the storage and how I was going to set this up. And so I tried a whole bunch of different configurations with it. Inside of it, I've got it's running a Core i3 530, so not a bad chip. It's a first generation Core i3. For what I'm doing from a server perspective, it's fine, right? It works just fine. It's power. It doesn't consume a lot of power. It's an old chip that I've had around for a while. It's been a good one. 8 gig of RAM. It's cost prohibitive to take it any farther. And I do VMs, but I don't do a lot of VMs. So since I've brought it up, I've had Windows 10 Tech Preview and Windows Server 10 Preview running at the same time. No issues there for me. So 8 gig for me in this configuration is fine as long as I run 2 or maybe 3. I might be able to get away with three VMs at a time. But for what I do, that's just fine. Running in an Antec 900 case that I've had sitting around for a while. Antec 900 case is nice. It's got a lot of storage in there. A lot of bays. You can get a bunch of stuff in there. Last year I bought the IcyDock Fat Cage, which has been kind of fun to have. That holds 3 drives and powers them up nicely. In that, it's a 3-in-3. It's not any space-saving stuff, but you get some nice fancy lights on there. I like that one. And then Schoonover shipped me a while back 350 gig Western Digital Velociraptor drives that I put in there. And okay, so this is where the RAID becomes important. The RAID part becomes important. So I've got these 3, and I used to RAID those together with a separate RAID card. And I think I broke my RAID card because it was not working the other day when I put it in. I'm like, so what am I going to do with this thing? So I'm messing around with different things. We'll come back to the RAID here in just a second. The real dilemma was how was I going to do the OS drive? And I had 2 320 gig laptop drives that I was using the J Micron side for, and I'd striped those together in a RAID 0 just for speed. And the performance was okay. Wasn't bad. Like a normal drive, like a normal size, 7,200 RPM. That's about that same performance. And then this is where the Black Friday specials came in. And I just started thinking, if I'm going to do this, I might as well drop that thing, an SSD in that thing, and just be done with it. So, of course, the SanDisk, this is the 240 gig version, $85, $80, something like that. They were $79.84, something like that. I can't remember. They were for
I'm gonna go look for mine, see where mine's at.
240 gig for $85. It's like
unreal.
It's just ridiculous.
It's just stupid,
right? And 550 read and write, full 500, 550 write or 550 read, 500 write. Great, been a good little drive. So I picked that up. I bought that Black Friday, and let a weekend go and changed out those two. Rated drives to just the one SSD. It's been great. Performance has been good. I'm seeing just ripping fast like you would expect from an SSD drive. So got the OS up and running, and so I have these 150 gig drives sitting there, and I'm like, this is where I want to this is what I want to run my VMs off of, and I want to take it. These are 10,000 RPM drives, and they go pretty fast. And so I said, drive bender or StableBit, right? I was like, who do I go with, right? And I ended up throwing. Well, who do you think I went with?
Now you're tricking me.
Yeah, what do you think? Between those two, I just looked at those two. I looked at storage spaces for a few minutes, and everybody just ripped on me the last time I used storage spaces.
Yeah,
so I got so reamed for that. I
went with I'm StableBit guy.
Yeah.
So
same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you went StableBit.
I went with StableBit.
It's not the drive vendors bad. I think that maybe it's just discussed a little more in our forums.
Yeah. Well, and I like the
that's
scanner.
what's in front of me. So I went with it. Plus, we kind of got the whole Drashna thing going on. Christopher Courtney helps us with the podcast.
Yeah. No, it was good. That entered my mind as I was kind of making
exactly.
the decision. And I'd actually tried Drive Vendor the week before when I was setting it up the first time because I want to be able to talk about them. They're new. I haven't used them in a while. So I tried Drive Vendor, and then I came to StableBit. And I really like the simple interface of a stable bit and the way it works. And
I think.
I got really good speeds off of it. I mean, I ran ATTO off of it, pointed it at the new drive, and I got really decent speeds off of it. And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna stick with this. I'm running the 30-day trial, and then I will buy it when we come back around when that trial is up. And because it's $20. I mean, it's not terribly expensive, right?
Yeah. In fact, if you go to homeservershow.com, actually, I think it's in the forums. So go to the forums, HSS forums, and on the right-hand side, I'm killing my bandwidth right now.
Yeah.
There's a StableBit drive pool ad. Click that, and that'll support the forum just a
Okay.
little bit.
So I'll go out and buy it through that. Thanks for mentioning that. I'll go out and buy it through there. So, yeah, it took 2012 full domain, just threw that on there. I haven't attached a PC to them yet, but I've done that before. Load, connector, put it on the domain, take it off the domain. Backup's just fine. I don't get squirrely about the domain like a lot of folks do on that one. It'll be just fine. And I've been running the VMs on it. Now I'm planning on dropping two, either 3 terabyte or 4 terabyte red drives in there at some point to be the main storage. I haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm still in the setup process, kind of burning things in. Not that you have to do that, but it just, one thing at a time, get things stable, mess around with stuff, get it on the network, get it figured out the way I want. So I've got 2 spaces. I put the OS drive in the top bay of the IC dock, and I got 2 more spaces. Today I'm running like a 750 gig drive in there. I just had one laying around. That's kind of pseudo storage for me right now. I'm not using it in that capacity, but we'll drop 2, 3, or 4. Right now, 3 terabyte drives are the sweet spot. They're super, super cheap.
Are they? I haven't. It's been so
$85
long since I've needed storage.
Yeah. Well, I'm to that point. It's kind of like the biggest drive I think I have is maybe the 2 terabytes that are in the home server. I'm not going to rip those out until I, so it's one of those kinds of things where I'm thinking, well, I'll wait for a 4 terabyte deal. I'll throw two 4 terabyte drives in there, and then run them. I'll probably run StableBit on that as well to put those together in duplication at that point, and call that good. And so it works. I think at the end of the day on that whole thing, because I was using, well, I should mention I took advantage of the Black Friday deal. I think we talked about this on Surface Geeks last week, but I picked up this 16 gig. I needed something because I was installing server all the time, and my USB drives weren't working very well. Couldn't find one that would load correctly with the, so you could boot to them and those things. So I popped down. It was Black Friday that day, so I popped down to Radio Shack. 16 gig. Today you'll pay $9 for this. I paid $5. It's still a good deal at $9, right? For the 16 giggers in the store, they probably have a billion of these things left from Black Friday. I got there at 3 p.m. and I was still one of the first 50 to visit the store because I got a free pair of gloves at the deal. Right? It's so painful.
Sorry, Radio Shack.
So
that's
painful,
bad.
Radio Shack. But this was a tool I used because I must have reinstalled server that weekend while I was doing some testing and stuff with the various drives and the different RAID configurations and testing some of the speeds and such. I bet 15 times I reinstalled server. I just got really good at it. And so this saved me a ton of time having one of these and using that Windows 7 DVD tool that you use to burn the image on here. Total cost under $100 for that server. Now that's in 2014 dollars, which means what did I pay in 2014 for it? Certainly all this equipment's paid for, but $100 worth of equipment, get my 2012 server up and running, and probably, I'll look for these drive deals to come through, and when the right deal comes through, I'll probably pick up a couple, and we'll move on. I'll probably in the spring here, I'll start moving stuff over. Whenever I've done data migrations, my failures have always come when I was in a hurry. Always.
Yeah.
Always. So I'm not going to be in a hurry this time. I'm going to move music. Well, not really because I don't have music. I'm going to move pictures. I'm going to move, miscellaneous stuff, the family photo or family photos. I'm going to move scan docs. I'm just going to move them over, robocopy them over or something to get them all set in place. Just take my time with it and get them migrated off. Then we'll have to decide what we do with the 2011 box.
Yeah,
It may become a cloud storage box.
You have the awesome ability to have both up. A lot of folks don't have that chance. They do. They capture that data and then yeah. So that's awesome that you can have both up at once.
I did have this thought that I'm like, maybe I'll make 2011 pure cloud storage. So everything I do with the cloud, OneDrive, Box, Dropbox, Copy, OneDrive, all that stuff, that all is going to sit on a separate server, and that's all it's going to do is sync to those, so I have copies of them locally in the cloud. And then I'll keep that off of my server, and that'll be the stuff that that I don't sync to the cloud, that I have locally, that's maybe being backed up with CrashPlan. So those are the things I kind of want to think through still. Kind of think through this and see how I want to have. But you're right, I can have both running at the same time. They're both running right now at the same time, no comment.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was lucky enough to be able to do the same thing. And yeah, I made a backup copy of all my stuff, and I put it on my NAS just to make sure. And then I did the migration. And I just did straight across. Just straight across. I would do, big folders at a time to make sure everything copied over. And honestly, I just used just network shares. Bam. Just drag it over.
Just do it with Windows. So
yeah, I didn't do anything fancy this time. And I did a couple of little spot checks here and there, and I just drag it over. It's probably the wrong thing to do. And yeah, I used RoboCopy when I went from version 1 to 2011. And, I stood there with a clipboard and I monitored bandwidth, and counted. I just drag, drop.
Give me a byte count. Yeah.
Yeah. Drag, drop. Did good. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
And I sit here and I look at my 2012 server, and I rarely touch this thing. That's why I don't podcast a whole lot on it. It's just, you podcast on what you're touching a whole lot lately, and I haven't touched it.
Yeah. It's been great
solid
for me with VM. Hyper-V has changed a lot of things for me, being able to use that for images and to try stuff out and quickly spin stuff up. I've done that. Hyper-V on Azure has been, that's not what you call it, but they have, you can spin up now Windows 7, Windows 8, and the new Windows 10 on Azure. And they're not cheap. You don't want to spin them up and leave them on. You turn them on. When you're done, you shut them down. Because you'll spend $50-$60 a month on a Windows 8, instance that's out there. You'll spend some money. So it's not, those aren't things you just go out and do, spin them up, spin them back down. But that works great. If I need something, I'm like, okay, if I want to look at something with Windows 10 from anywhere, I can, just go to the browser, fire it up in Azure, wait for it to start. I wish that's the one bad thing. It takes too long to start on Azure. It takes a full almost 3 minutes to get an instance up and running. I wish that was faster. Boom, it's up and running. You remote desktop into it. It gives you everything you need to remote desktop. You just have to be on Windows. Pop it in, and I'm sure you could find a way to do it on Mac. I just don't know how. And you are in your instance, and it's run super fast out there. I have a 4-core instance running about 8 gig of RAM in the cloud, and it works great. So those things have been nice. It's changed the way I do a lot of my workflow, and a dependency on hardware
VM
here.
Is just it's nice. As I sit here and I look, I've got 2 instances running in my Windows 2012 server, which I'm running a 2012 server with an Essentials role added onto it. Yep. And I toiled months over that decision on what to install, and I went with that. So I have a Windows 10 VM and I have a Windows 7 VM, which is used every day. So I have my Ubiquity controller, the software that controls the Wi-Fi network that does a lot of the thinking behind the scenes for it. Gives you all the reporting and the data. I'm using that. It's also Media Center. So I have a little Media Center PC within a VM, and that runs the Xbox 360 and the Seaton Echo, which is on my network. So it's awesome. And that has allowed me to take offline a Media Center PC that did nothing but push TV to extenders. That's all it did. It just pushed TV to extenders whenever I needed it. And I had that thing on 24/7 because I wanted it on in case I went to, the Xbox. I wanted it on. And I didn't want it dragging down my HTPC that's in the living room because it's an Atom processor. That thing could be doing, recording two things and playing back one. I didn't want it dragging it down. Speaking of Media Center, Jim, I've had something happen this week that my HD home run, I've got the two old school HD home runs, and they're you got to put two coaxes in, and then it doesn't have the splitter, one coax in,
gray on the top,
like the new ones.
Yeah.
The little power supply died on one of them, so I noticed it in Media Center. I go to guide and I see two things recording, and I'm like, I don't want to watch anything right now. I think I'll go to recorded TV. Or, no, I didn't want to watch recorded TV. I wanted to watch something in the guide. And I clicked it, and it goes, not enough tuners. I'm like, what? I've got 4 tuners. I've got 2 of these things. And I come up here, and one's dead.
Yeah.
And I just did the power supply shuffle for troubleshooting, and sure enough, it's a little power supply. It's dead, so I gotta buy one of those. But they've lasted years.
I know. It brings up a good question. When do you know these things die? These less. So
when you miss a TV show.
I know. I have 4 too, and it's split between 2 PCs. I've got a server here that's recording, and then we've got one in the living room that's recording. And every once in a while, we come up against 4 shows all at the same time. Sarah uses it way more than me, but that was just a good thought. I'm like, how would I know if one of those went down?
Yeah. Oh, your family would tell you.
We may not know for a while because I watch TV in bursts. I won't watch TV for a month or 2, and then all of a sudden I want to catch up on everything, and I'll binge watch Nova or binge watch This Old House or whatever I do. So, yeah, I guess I just wouldn't know. The other thing to report in on, and this goes way back, so you have to be a long-time listener of Home Server Show to kind of get this. But
all right.
If you're not, it's okay. Hang tight. I finally had a green drive go bad in a Drobo. So while I'm doing all this stuff, I'm checking out the storage stuff on the Drobo. I loaded took some drives out of the old server and threw them in the Drobo just so they'd be spinning. And sure enough, one of the drives that's been in there for like 2.5, 3 years finally gave up the ghost. 1.5 terabyte green drive. It was actually a refurb that I got from Western Digital way back when. I've always said I've never had a problem with green drives going bad in a NAS device, and
Can't say that anymore.
Everybody else is like, you're freaking crazy, and so not that I'd still throw green drives in there, although I think as I replace drives, I'm going to replace them with reds. But those went bad. I pulled it out. Drobo started recovering. I came down one morning and the lights were flashing. It's the first time in 3.5 or 4 years that I've had a Drobo that I've had a drive fail.
And you celebrate, yay, our drive died.
Exactly. Recover, little Drobo. Recover. Do your job.
That's fun.
So pulled the lid off, popped the thing, threw the drive in I've got a little docking station here, threw it in the docking station, reformatted it, tested it on Windows. It tested out fine. So I waited for the Drobo to recover, and it took a while, 8 or 9 hours to recover itself. And then pulled it out, slapped it back in. It made it for a second or 2, and then it failed again. And I'm like, all right, if the Drobo is going to fail it, it's probably done. It's been out of warranty for a year, so it's done at this point, and it's going to go. It's going to go to hard drive heaven, and we'll call it good. But yeah, so it's missing a tooth. No, I threw another drive in there.
Oh, okay. Never again. Green no more, folks.
Yeah, no, I'll probably
Reds.
do reds from here on out.
Yeah. Green no more. We went through our stage where we didn't have greens. I mean, we didn't have reds. We had blacks.
Yeah.
So you either paid $100 or you paid $250, and we all paid $100.
Yeah. It's still got 4 green drives in it. So it's one of those things. And the 5th drive is just a 250 gig drive that I've had sitting around for 8 years. And it bothered me that there was an empty slot, so I just threw it in there. And that's the beauty of a Drobo, right? It'll take anything in there and make use of it. Didn't make a lot of use of it, but will be the first one to go when I start replacing it with drives. I've got about, on that Drobo right now, I think I have about 2.7, almost 3 terabyte of RAID beyond RAID storage on that thing right now. So I have maybe 700 gig used. So it's not like I'm in danger. I could even right now do the 2-drive duplication, which means I could lose 2 drives at the same time. And I just kind of thought to myself, why?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe you should think to yourself again, because when one goes,
Yeah.
you're going to come
Yeah,
down one
that's
day
true.
and there's going to be 2 lights, and you'll be like, oh,
That's
crap.
true. Yeah. Let me
Oh,
look at
crap.
capacity. Yeah, almost 3 terabytes of storage on there now. 914 gig used. And I just have this single drive failure RAID set at this point. So if I lost another
Prepare
one,
for disaster, my friend.
bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Right.
You're right, though. I celebrated. I'm like, yay, a drive.
I know you did. I know you did, because we were talking about it a long
Emailed
time.
the kids. Kids, the Drobo you bought me a
Look,
drive
take a
failed.
picture of it. It's like baby's first poop. You look at it in amazement. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll round up the servers. Johnny Z, Mr. John Zadler, dieharder in the forums. He gets the prize tonight. He noticed my new server sitting behind me. It's right here, Jim. Everybody on video.
Dude, that's beautiful.
Right there. That's the VIC 20.
VIC 20. Where did you dig
Commodore
that
VIC
out
20.
of?
Just dug it out. I told you I need to get some eye candy back here. So
Back in the back there.
I was thinking about really doing an unboxing, Jim. So
That would be nostalgic. Remember what we talked about on the bus at CES? I mean, at Summit?
exactly. So there's the VIC 20. I don't want to make a mess. It's in here. It's heavy.
It is a.
Seems
It's a
heavy.
big. Didn't the plastic on the outside of that stuff color weird? It started kind of beige and it turned kind of orange.
Oh yeah. Just like the old vanilla beige server cases.
Packard Bell, the original
the
Packard
sun went-
Bell.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
if
sun
the
would
sun
turn
came
those-
through the room, it would just trash it.
When I worked at Computer Renaissance, we'd have people bring those in who'd been smokers, and
You turn them on, it's like, oh, for God's sakes.
we got to start that podcast. By the way,
We
that
do have to
talked
start
about.
that
We
podcast.
do. That would be
I talked about on the last show. If guys you're listening to the home server show right now, you need to go back one show about. I got a little. I just threw in some personal details, and I was one of the first Geek Squads at Best Buy. Back before they even named the thing, I was taking Packard Bells, and people would bring in their computers. I mean, literally, I would crack the case of that thing, and there would be a dust bunny about 3 foot wide. And I would crack the case, and that dust bunny would be like, close the door, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, damn, I don't want to see that case
It would
anymore.
bite you.
I know. Scary stuff came through the door. But, yeah, so check out last episode. But, hey, Jim, you had an interview on your last podcast that I really enjoyed.
Oh, good.
And I was kind of waiting, and I think I threw a whole trump card on you guys. But why don't you tell me about this last link?
Yeah, so we had Daniel Volke from On Air, and you probably know them as On Air Player. That's kind of been their. They have a web service, a website you can go to sign up for, and then when you install their software on whatever device, and they have a software for just about everything. When you install that software on those devices, it doesn't combine your music. It doesn't try and move all your music into one location. It federates it on your devices so that if the device is turned on, you can get to that music from anywhere. So if it's on your home server and you want to play it on your phone and both are turned on, well, apparently your phone would have to be turned on if you're going to listen to it there. But if the home server's turned on and it has access to it, it will stream it over and transcode it on your phone to play it. Vice versa, if you're at home and you've got music that's been downloaded to your phone and your phone is on and you want to play it on your server at home, you can play it that way. Well, they came out with, they did a Kickstarter project that they launched on episode 194 just last Thursday. I'll drop the link to that in the chat right now if you want to go out and take a peek. Many of you probably already listen, and so I appreciate that. But so Daniel came on and launched this Kickstarter project, and in the show notes to that, let me just actually I have that up too. I'll drop that in the. It's already in the show notes, but I'll drop that in the chat if you guys want to head over there. they launched a Kickstarter project for what they're just calling the box, the on-air box, and don't have very many in this Kickstarter program. Well, let me just talk about what the box does first, real quick. So basically, you connect your box to your network and then plug in either an external drive or
It's got micro SD.
yeah, thank you. I was struggling.
It's
with
got
that
two
one.
USB ports, so you could have all of your music on an external drive, hook it up to this box. Guys, if you're listening on audio, check out the link in the show notes. But think hockey puck. Yeah, it's a hockey puck,
Yep.
and it's round, or it's going to be round.
It is, yeah.
And it's got so many ports on the back of it, it's going to make you just say, I want it. Micro SD. It's got digital out. It has Ethernet.
Yep.
HDMI. It's got the Wi-Fi in it, but you're going to want the Ethernet because you're like me.
It's
Two
running
USBs.
Android. It's running Android, and so you can then you hook that into your network, and you could it's got HDMI. You said that I think HDMI can run the music out to your TV if you want to do it that way. Retail right now is they're projecting is $50, $49. The Kickstarter, which is going on right now, there are still the 35 package is all gone, Dave. So you could have bought it for $35. There are now $40 tickets. They got about 300 of those $40. So save yourself $10 if you want to try this. They're projecting it comes out in June at this point. They're collecting orders. They're going to have it manufactured and shipped anywhere in the world. So if you're interested in looking at that, you can do it. 300 left on the 40, and then it's going to go to 49, and they got about 5,000 of those. And you've got a variety. You can even buy larger packages if you want to get a couple of them. And this is where they're great, Dave. We talked on the show about being able to sync your music together.
Mm-hmm.
If you walked around your house, and Daniel had said it is near perfect sync at this point in their tests, and they're continuing to work to make it even closer. So this is one guy who loves his music. I get that feeling. He just loves his music. And so lots of cool things, and you can on the app. So you install the app on your phone. It recognizes where the players are at in there, and you can send then the music on the app to any one of those devices, and it'll play on whatever the device is that's on and working at that time. So very cool. Dave, you'd asked me to ask the question about Amazon Cloud Music, and he said no, not now, but they'll look at. He said, now that I know it's important to you guys, I'll take a look at that API and see what it would take to get that done. And,
yeah, that would be fantastic. So if my Surface RT behind me died. So what this thing is doing is you're just taking the music that lives on a server or on a NAS box in your home, and you're hooking it up to the on-air box as a USB or on a micro SD. And that with the app, you can queue up playlists, you can queue up songs, and if you hook it up to your TV, if you got a nice hi-fi system on your TV, it'll give you something pretty to look at. It'll show you what's up next, album art, all that kind of cool stuff. Otherwise, you just hook it up to a stereo and pump it out to your room, which is probably what I'm going to do. And I can't wait to get it. That's the inherent problem with Kickstarter is I throw that credit card down. That means I'm ready to commit my $35. Yeah. I want my box. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they can get it to us before June. But Jim, I'm worried about this Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. They set their goal high. They set their goal at $200,000 in order to provide a $49 retail price to the masses so they could purchase tons. And man, I'm worried that they're not going to get there.
Yeah.
I really am.
24 days to go, and they've only secured 182. So they've got a ways to go to get that done, about $8,000 in funding. But you never know. And I think it's worth a look if we've got some pretty good reach here. And so head over to homeservershow.com, look up the show notes to this show, and take a look. Dave will include the link to the Kickstarter project. I think it's worth taking. Daniel reached out to me this time. We had interviewed him on Home Gadget Geeks way back in March when we were talking about On-Air Player, and he reached out to me this time and said, hey, I'd like to launch this on your show, which is very cool of him to kind of do that for us. So He's followed our community. Actually, Kevin has done the best job of taking advantage of On-Air Player. He was jumping out there, sending stuff to their tech support to look at as well. Kevin had asked if if they were thinking about a model with speakers. Look at the
Sonos
Echo.
style.
Yeah, look at the Echo, the way the Echo is going to come out. And they said not yet. They were thinking about it, but not. They really want to get this one off the ground before they do anything. So, pretty cool little device. I want to say thanks to Daniel for launching that on the Geeks Network.
So just
and
quick
on
little math.
Geeks.
All we need is about 4,800 people to commit $40, and I can have my box. So please, people, get out there.
Check it out. And right now, $40 is the cost of entry. The $35 ones are all gone. If you would have got in on that, I got in on one of those as well. I bought those. I was one of the Dave, I think you might have been the first.
I was, because it came up with a little banner. You are the first backer of this Kickstarter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet.
That's
so
awesome.
I beat everybody.
Number 5. I was doing show notes for actually that show that we were talking about. And you pinged me, I think, on Twitter, and you're like, "It's out!
And you're like, go!
Like I popped over there and dropped the credit card and thought, this is kind of a cool device. I'm interested in this, especially when it comes to playing music. In our house, most of the technology is downstairs, and we don't put a lot upstairs. So I'll probably put this in the kitchen and hook up some nice speakers to it, and that'll become Sarah can play to that instead of playing it out of her computer.
Yeah. I hope they make it. Everything I've funded on Kickstarter has never made it.
Yeah.
Everything I've funded on Indiegogo has made it. So I don't know if that's a precursor or not.
Well, we'll see. We will see. I hope these guys have some good mojo, and of course we're doing all that we can to promote it. But we'll see.
All right, guys. I know it's been a long set of show notes, but there's a lot of homework for you to head out to homeservershow.com, go to the forums, and please give me some feedback on OneDrive versus CrashPlan. You've got a lot of links to take a look at. Those links will be in the show notes. And I appreciate everybody for listening. Hey, we're just wrapping it up. We are a member of the Geeks Network. If you have a podcast and you want to head out to thegeeksnetwork.com and take a look at what we're delivering, and maybe you can deliver a podcast of your own.
And I think we have a new one coming.
We might have a new...
And it might be about fruity products.
Hey, we are growing, and 2015 is going to be the year of this Geeks Network thing. And I know I brought this out last year, and it just... There's things... I do this all the time, Jim. I bring it out too soon. I brought something out at the meetup this last year, and I brought it out too soon. I haven't been happy with it, so I haven't launched it. So that's what's going on. And Jim and I have been we've been working on the Geeks Network thing. We're getting it kind of rolling. Just to state to that, Jim, we had a test advertiser on Surface Geeks last week, and everything's rolling good. The ears, head out to Surface Geeks. There's a big banner ad. And buy your ears. Actually, you can go to surfacegeeks.net. Buy a set of ears for every Surface in your house. They're $12. So there's a nice shortcut for that advertiser. But we're doing some things behind the scenes. So I hope 2015 will be a great year for both podcasting in general and our Geeks Network as well. And we're going to be adding some folks. We're kind of secrets, but we're going to be adding a couple of podcasts. Some that are new and some that are rolling already. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
2015 is going to be great.
It'll be fun.
Again, if you're headed to CES or you think you're going to head to CES, please let me know. Podcast at homeservershow.com. You can always get in touch with me with a PM in the forums. I will get that, and I will respond to you sooner or later. Sometimes I get really stacked up with stuff, with emails and PMs and stuff. I get a lot of it. It's unreal. Most of the time I have to reply, hey, could you put that question in the forums? I think it would be great for everyone else too. Mm-hmm. I need a disclaimer somewhere. Don't ask me questions. Mm-hmm. Please ask the forums. All right, guys. With Mr. Jim Collison, I'm your host, David McCabe. See you in the forums.
Good night, everybody.
Hour and a half.
Dude, if that might be the most content we've delivered on Home Server Show in a while. There's a lot there. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It's a lot. You just got to keep that drive. If you see the link, you just have to do it instantly. You got to put it out on Drive, or share it.
Oh, in the show notes, you mean?
Yeah, or you forget about it.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah. No, well, and you had said, I'm glad last week you'd said on Surface Geeks, hey, let's talk about that on Home Server Show. And so I had thought about some things and made some notes already, so it was pretty easy to go back and put all that stuff together.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that RAV Power thing, when I pulled up that link, the first thing I saw was the Anker, Anker, that it's got the multi-charging device. That's what I thought you were talking about. So I wasn't ready. I was like, oh, otherwise I would have had the links. I didn't see the. I thought,
That's fine.
I was like, oh yeah, this is the one thing, I have that tech scholarship fund through Amazon, and I bought this for a dude, and the dude disappeared. Just disappeared. And it's 1 in 7 or 8.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to do that kind of stuff. It's going to happen. The guys were pissed. They were like, they did what? Send me his email address. We're going to track that down.
Yeah, we'll track you down the hacking.
But
hey, I looked up my SSD drive.
Mm-hmm.
It says it arrived yesterday.
Oh, really?
I don't have it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That is not good.
That's definitely not good.
I'll give it another day. See what happens. And I've been getting Amazon stuff. I got something today.
Yeah, they could be so backed up. And hey, that power supply is what, 12,000? Is that what you said?
12,000.
12,000.
I thought it was 1,200, but it's 12,000.
12,000. Small M A H.
Yeah, milliamp per hours.
This little one's 9.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Screws up my battery every time I use it, though.
That's right. You need a charge-all.
Do you think? Well, every battery I bought has messed up on Android has messed up my battery every single time. I mean, it takes 3 or 4 charges to get that thing right again. Although right now, I tell you what, I'm so ready to ditch Android.
What? What are you talking about?
I've thought about going to the iPhone. I'm serious.
Why?
Well, I'm on Sprint. That's problem. Problem number 1. I'm on Sprint.
I'm going to show you one screen on my phone why you don't want to go to Android.
No, I am on Android.
I mean, why you don't want to go to iPhone.
Yeah.
Widgets.
Yeah.
My Fitness Pal, Xbox.
I'm not a big widget guy.
I can start and stop my podcast just from my widget screen. I can see my calories. Look how many calories I have left for today, Jim. I'm going to have a Snicker bar.
Nice. That's what's left?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I've thought about it myself, and I'm just like, you're going to get in that iOS, and you're going to hate yourself.
I know.
You're going to feel dirty.
I already do feel dirty just admitting it.
You just need a carrier. That's what you need. You just need a carrier.
I probably do.
I tell you what, you go get you that Nexus 6 on AT&T. You'll be all right.
Now I could do the Nexus 6 on Sprint. I could stay Android and do it that way.
When you do, you're on the S4, right?
April. Yeah, April. Coming up this spring.
S6 will be out by then. You'll know that in February.
My battery has just been so bizarre that.
How many times have you wiped?
I haven't wiped in a while now. Which, is that like squeezing your pipe?
You always wipe after you squeeze your pipe. This is still on YouTube. This is the after show, though. It's unfortunate with Android if you tinker around, install, uninstall. It always helps if you just zap it.
Yeah. Well, Drashna says, don't go Samsung. Yeah, I don't know. Even just a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to wait to upgrade this phone for a while. It's been working pretty well. Last couple weeks, man, it has just been tearing through battery again, and I don't know why. And it's just, you can be anything.
What What Verizon update did you get, Tony? Because I just got the voice over LTE Verizon update on my G3. I tell you guys, I've got the G3, and I couldn't be more happier with the phone. And I was pretty happy with the G2. That was a 5-inch phone. This is a 5.5, but this thing has like zero bezel. It's got the little top, the little bottom, and it's got that thing on the back. It's got your power button right here, volume up and down. I love what LG is doing. This is the phone of the year, guys. This is the phone of the year. The LG G3.
Yeah, Drashna says settings power usage. No, it doesn't tell me squat. It tells me my screen's on too much.
Screen time. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not very helpful.
Yeah.
I've gone through everything to see if I can figure out what.
Do you turn down the display? Do you turn down the?
Oh, it's turned down some. Yeah. It's just unstable. With what I'm doing, I won't change. I was just seeing if I'd get a rise out of somebody, but yeah.
Look at the gray market with phones. Why don't you just go to a different phone? Sell that one, make 200,
Yeah.
buy one for 300.
Yeah.
You're not out much, and you'll be a happier camper.
Yeah.
Guarantee you could get an LG G3.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
And
I'll have to look into it.
I've got the cool thing about this.
You're so bad for my budget, Dave. I'm just gonna
Look at
say
this. Look at this. This is my phone. Cover comes off. $11. I put on this wireless charging sticker. So I've got Qi. I've got wireless charging. If you wanted to, you could replace the battery. And see that right there? That there, my friends, is a 64 gigabyte micro SD card with every single song that I own is on that chip.
Oh, wow.
And movies. Full-length movies. I don't use them, but they're there if I want them. I watched A Bridge Too Far on the plane home from the summit, Jim. On my phone. A Bridge Too Far.
Yeah.
It was a Blu-ray rip, and I dropped it into my my SD card. Yeah, Swappa on XDA. That's a good place to go, Swappa.
Yeah. Well, I think before I did something any drastic, I'd probably just reset it because it's been when you're right. I do a lot of stuff on here and try a lot
reset
of
it.
stuff out. I'll probably reset it because there's been times it's been a really good phone to me, and I just like it. If I've got this case that I bought 2 of.
Exactly. You left one at my house.
And it's been a good little phone. It's I like the size. I like the brightness. I love the screen. It's been a good little phone. I haven't, and I just haven't. I have not experienced all the weirdness that everybody else has with Samsung software. But maybe this is part of that weirdness where all of a sudden, because like sometimes every once in a while it just heats up the top of it. I took Sarah's phone apart. I just finally threw the old stuff away, but I completely gutted Sarah's phone and replaced the screen for her, and so I got to learn how all those parts go together and stuff. And so on this phone, all the motherboard's up here in this part of it, and man, that thing will get it's the surface temperature, the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
Up there, you're like, wow.
Yeah, that stinks.
And it's like, so something's gone wrong, awry, and then the battery is gone like that. And you're like, well, so I restart it and plug it in.
Bummer.
It's all right. It's not that big of a deal.
The only thing is, Android is still growing, and I say this with a grain of salt. Is if I could change anything, I would get something that's Google Play Edition that doesn't have any bloatware from the carrier.
Yeah.
But then again, Google Play Edition, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe they don't have a good camera. They're not optimized for battery and stuff.
Right.
So it's a balance. I don't even think Android is really ready yet.
Yeah.
But it is
just
what
Dave,
it is.
here's the deal, right? Just the way I use my phone, what I use it for. I hate to say this, but an iPhone is perfect.
Yeah.
Podcasts, my number one thing I do on my phone, podcasts. Listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
That podcast app on the iPhone is pretty good, right?
It's damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, I take pictures. Not too many phones take better pictures than the iPhone. Right? I mean, not too many. That's what I do on my phone. You know, I think I hate to be I'm trust me. Trust me. I'm just trying to be objective. This is like
that was my
agnostic.
skull.
I'm trying to be like the guys over at Agnostic Tech, right?
Your wife bought one, didn't she?
No, she hates iPhones.
She hates it?
She
I
turned
thought she
hers
bought
in.
one.
She did. I made her buy one because I thought she'd love that experience of everything.
What does she like on the Android? I mean, if you put the icons on the front screen, it's basically an iPhone.
She uses the hell out of her phone. She's on that thing. I come to bed, she's on that thing.
God, what does she do? It has Facebook on iPhone.
It's Facebook, and she likes her phone. When she broke it, and it took me a couple weeks to get the screen in so we could replace it. I moved her down to a Galaxy S2 because we keep our old phones as backups, right? That's kind of what that's our insurance plan, and it worked well because we just flipped it over at $0. But she was on that S2 for a month or two. She hated it. She's like, oh, I mean, she put up with it. She knew it was her fault. She broke the phone, so she put up with it. But it was one of those things. She got back on this phone, and she's like, oh, thank God I can do stuff. And, I'll come down in the morning, I'll hear ding, 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 excellent, ding, 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 excellent, ding, ding, and she's playing games. She's playing Candy Crush.
Tasty.
And it's like, I'm not going to root a phone. Trashness, sorry. I'm just not going to do it. So she loves her S4, but she's up in April too. So we're gonna even though I've replaced that screen, it didn't really go back together the way I wanted it to. So we're gonna replace that for her. But it was one of those thoughts, Dave. I'm like, man, for the way I use my phone, Twitter. So beyond that, Facebook, Twitter, podcast, Facebook, Twitter. Man, all those things work better on an iPhone. Better battery life. You've got the touch support. The fingerprint thing. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just thinking. It's just like
the fingerprint thing is cool. I mean, I'll give you that.
Tell me what works better on an Android than an iPhone.
I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's the problem.
I mean,
just so anti-iPhone.
Getting to it, just getting to my stuff.
You make a point when you say get into it. Physically getting into it's impossible. So I was able to rip that Samsung apart and put it back together so we could fix her phone.
Well, I mean, just
she
like
do that on the iPhone,
widgets.
we're dead. Yeah.
Widgets.
Yes.
Seeing my like my temperature widget at the top. I gotta have that. Google Now, I think is awesome.
True. No, it's true. You make a good point. I don't use it a lot, but yeah, you make a good point.
I think Google Now is awesome. There's things guys are doing.
I don't use Google Drive that way. I don't use Google Music. I watch YouTube videos.
I haven't used iOS in a long time. I like the share menus.
Don't check a lot of Gmail on it.
On Android. And I tell you, if you're having trouble with Twitter, there's an app called Talon, Talon. I think maybe they reached their token limit on Android, but Talon is freaking awesome
for Twitter.
Yeah,
I use the Twitter app, and it's on Android. It's great. I'm super happy with Twitter.
No, you don't know great until you try Talon. It takes some little getting used to. It's like switching to Windows Phone. It's like, okay, you have to get different layout or whatnot. And if you only give it a day, you'll go back to your old Twitter app, but you have to give it some time.
Yeah. These guys are making great points. Integration with any of the Google services on an iPhone, right? And I use a lot of Google stuff. Now, I don't use Hangouts very often on my phone.
I don't either.
You can do it, but I don't. And I would challenge you guys probably don't either. There's no Gmail app on the iPhone. Are you kidding me? Seriously?
No, but you can get it
Yeah.
There may be an app, but you get it right in the mailbox, in
Right.
the Apple inbox, and it's fine.
I
'Cause
don't.
You can sort right on that different e-box. You can,
don't
like, your
use-
Hotmail, your Outlook, your
Right.
Gmail, Talon, Talon.
I'll have to check it out. I use my Android device here like it's like an iPhone. I mean, I just use I don't have any widgets, and on the various screens they're all just icons, right?
LastPass autofill.
True. Is that Android only?
Yeah.
Okay. You're thinking.
SMS apps.
Don't use them.
You can't replace the iPhone's SMS app. You have to use what they give you.
Yeah.
On Android, you can get all these pretty SMS apps,
Don't
or you
use
can
them.
use Hangouts as SMS.
I'm a stock guy. I use everything stock.
Well, see, you've never left the nest. That's why you're thinking about an iPhone. If you would just kind of leave the nest just a little bit. Hey, YouTubers, I'm gonna cut this off before it gets crazy. What? I'm up on my 2-hour limit, and it won't go to YouTube if I go over 2 hours, I think.
No, it doesn't do that anymore.
It doesn't do that? It'll go?
It doesn't.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hang up anyways.
Yeah, it's
then,
good.
then we can say bad words.
Just remind everybody out there, be safe.
Be safe.
And don't squeeze.
Don't squeeze your pipe in public. It's near Christmas. The family would cry. Hey, guys. Thanks. We'll see you. Thanks for hanging out with us, Tony, Drashna.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Lopta, everybody. Yeah. No, if Jim goes to iPhone, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. If you haven't played with an iPhone 6, it's nice. It
nice.
really
They
is
are
nice.
They're
I just loathe. I'd rather go to Windows Phone. And I like Windows Phone. I'm not cutting it down, but I'd rather go to Windows Phone.
Yeah, Drashna says you won't know exactly how horrible it is until you use it. I don't think it's horrible.
No, he hasn't left the nest, Drashna. He doesn't know. He does not know the power of Android. He does not know.
See you guys.
Sorry. Bye, guys.